I'd like to call to order the Leesburg Area Board of School Directors Public Works Session Agenda Sunday meeting on Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 at 7:41 p.m. in the Leesburg High School auditorium, and also being streamed live online. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of reflection.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for attending, those in person and those online. Ms. Clark, can we have roll call, please?
Ms. Polino, here. Mrs. Gregory. Mrs. Knight, here. Mrs. Lovelace, here. Mr. Lovelace, here. Mr. Shea.
Here.
Ms. Stewart, here. Ms. Thompson, here. Mr. Brady.
Here. And we have public comments on agenda items.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's call
Actually, we need to let the security guard know that, Mr. Peter, would you mind letting him know?
Sure.
And if you would announce the first one that he's calling.
Are we ready for it?
Where you're ready for, sir.
I have Michael Ferretti first. Microphone or
Over there.
Make your way over to the side there, Michael.
No problem.
If you could just state your name and address, please, for the records.
Michael Brady, 15 Second Street, Leesburg. The only question I have tonight is, I know under the governor's plan for the football games and all that, the law stuff, it's not the tickets are going to be distributed for like the football team members, their parents, band members, their parents, cheerleaders, their parents.
So, but, it's on the agenda also. Is it okay with us so we can discuss it now?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to discuss it now, or if you tell Mr. Ferretti to hang out for that part of the discussion.
Doug and Andre?
So our plan, as we've discussed, and it's pretty meticulous with 250 people allowed in the game. We had a significant amount of people allotted for game workers, officials, players on both sides, band and cheerleaders. So our plan was to allow each participant, that would be a football player, a band member, and a cheerleader, one ticket to the game. That would get us to right around 240 tickets, 240 people in the event. Obviously, that's open to discussion, but that's our plan.
That's like for another funding for everything. And that's one for, it's all about.
Yeah, you really get handcuffed. We have 31 members of our football team and coaching staff. The away team, the allotment is 50. Actually, Greensburg Central Catholic asked for a few more. The Leesburg band participants and advisors is 44. Cheerleaders and advisors 15. And then we go down from the game administration, referees, ambulance workers. We have it all broken down. So we get to the certain company. So that's
I know some parents without band competition, so they don't be able to see us, just trying to make sure that, the football team, but they're everybody was represented, three participants.
And Michael, that has to be approved by the board, tonight,
Yeah.
too, also the plan, so, for any changes, so that would be,
Okay.
And the other comment would be, depending upon the state, you don't know what might happen.
Yeah, that I get to. Now you're right.
So, Mr. President, with this president not here, I think we'll be at 24, we're going to invite Ms. Queen in, so that she's here.
Yes, that would be good.
Ms. Queen, come in. We'll be number 25, not counting the speakers, so you can come in. Well, I think that's if we had all 9 board members.
Andy Decius.
That gentleman already asked her question, so she doesn't have another one.
Oh, okay, good. And Jill Q, please. Thank you. If you could state your name and your address for the records and then your question, please.
I was just wondering, I brought all the way down, I read all the website, but. Okay, so your meeting is the 23rd, of the tax correctors, when you're making decisions. But I think it's like the 5th of October. So we aren't going back to, nothing will change until in October. When will, if anything's going to change, it's going to change, as for in-person learning.
October 5th.
October 5th.
The meeting is the 23rd to see what we'll be doing on October 5th.
Okay,
So you would know on the 23rd.
so something we, on the 23rd, okay. Because like, I just want, I'm sure everyone knows this is not looking for parents or single parents or parents who are working from home. It's absolutely necessary. We can do our business, starting from business, starting tomorrow. Who's taking out this to the who's picking up the free lunches if we aren't in long distance? Like, this is so ridiculous. And I get the whole coronavirus, everyone's scared. And there's been one pediatric death in Pennsylvania with coronavirus, 108 whole country. And I don't know if it's based on the fact of we don't want to transmit it to the community or whatever, but the service is really terrible. And I just was curious what the NBA was and if they have any policy. So I guess I got my answer on that.
Yeah, so just so you know, so it's my job as the superintendent to make a recommendation on what we're going to do. So I'm actually talking about that later on in the agenda, but I'm happy to talk about it now.
I was at the come to the meeting, I was here.
Yeah,
I was here when it actually happened. I was.
Yeah, so the Department of Health and Pennsylvania Department of Education, and, you know, like the 2 days before the school board had to go last week, came out with a matrix. And in that matrix is data on the number of COVID cases in the county. And we are supposed to make our decision on that. So as of today, our both counties are still in the moderate level. So based on that, if the school board wishes to follow the matrix, the Department of Health and Pennsylvania Department of Education has spoken of and made a recommendation for us to follow, we would, as the school board is comfortable, bump it up to a hybrid until we got into the low and then bring it back to the high. However, I can't say what it's going to look like on the 23rd when we have to vote. So there's still 2 weeks of data that is coming out, but some schools have not followed the matrix at all. Like we're
But how is Armstrong, what else are left? How is that?
that is correct. That was what I was just saying. Some schools didn't follow the matrix at all. So the school board, so I would give the school board 3 options. One would be to continue the way that we are, which is not my recommendation. The second would be to go back to the hybrid to get the kids transitioned in for a number of times, a number of days they trained by the school board, and then to eventually get them back in. So the hybrid model could last 10 days, the hybrid model could last 20 days, whatever the school board wishes to do. But the overall goal is definitely to get the kids back full time. So after the 23rd, they may say, no, we want to come back full time, and that's fine. So we would start that on October 5th.
So ultimately, the school board decision was not to make a decision on the type of funding if you go back, they're not, like Armstrong went back, they went back against what you're saying.
Yeah, so against the recommendations of the Department of Health and Human Services.
So, and ultimately, the board decides what to do.
Yeah, so they give the recommendations, I give the recommendations based on that, yeah. So, but at this time, because if we are following the matrix, which we have done, the recommendation would be to go back hybrid. And yes, it could be decided that, no, we're gonna go back full time, but if it stays the same, our recommendations will be to go with the hybrid model.
So the kid, but the girl outside, her daughter's taking one of the college classes, she's like $300 short, and she lives in Gilbert, her parents go to work, how is she coming to school to get her extra help? During the planning session. But it all looks great on paper, but it's not practical.
I understand that. This is not practical at all. I don't think a single person on the stage wants our kids not, I don't want to speak for them, of course, but I don't think there's a single person here, including me, that does not want to kids back full time. And we could, that could be the decision on October 5th. I can't answer that right now, and I'm not asking the school board to vote on something.
Oh,
That the data can change in a couple weeks. But I would agree with you. It's not, I think our teachers are doing an exceptional job, and I think our students are adapting, but it's 100% not ideal to have them as university.
Got this findings already that I get email over the calls at work now, finding emails from teachers and calls from kids. It's like this work, it's just. I feel so bad for kids who don't have. So, okay, thank you. That was presented for, to be presented to you. That was presented as though it were received by email, but it was handed with.
Yeah, it's volunteer or
I don't know.
again,
I apologize.
well, it's about the school year, and, when the school culminates.
Can I ask a question real quick? Are we limiting that to 5 minutes? That they were still working?
Yes, 5 minutes. So 5 minutes.
Are you reading?
Yeah, all the questions are 5 minutes. This could be a lot of more.
Yeah, I think it's.
Going further on the program.
Or like 5 minutes and
This is a going online. All right. So this is regarding online learning, so it could be agenda, it could be non-agenda items. So what I'll do is I'll read it now as an agenda item. And this is a remarks by Kylie Faber, and it states, "Hello, members of the school board. I appreciate all of your efforts so far during this 2021 school year. Understand these are tricky times and no one really knows what we're doing right now. However, I believe that the continuation of online learning would be the wrong decision. School is an outlet for many students to express themselves, socialize, or escape from their home life. I think that continuing to have that away would be more harmful than sending us back. Having a structured environment to learn is very crucial for younger students and even older ones, such as myself. Going to school every day helps build social skills and a steady routine for students to rely on. I believe a routine is very important for children and adolescents because it helps prepare them for the future, whether they plan on going to college, a trade school, getting a job right out of high school, or whatever they plan on doing. I believe a routine is very important. Next, students need the social interaction that they would get in a school environment. I know that not being able to go to school has definitely affected me as well as other students. I would say not being able to go somewhere every day has definitely affected my overall mood. I am not as peppy or chatty as I normally am, and if you know me, I am definitely a talker. I think that taking that away from the student is very harmful to their mental health and well-being. I also would like to say that this online learning is not as helpful as a school environment would be. At school, there are no distractions, it's you, the teacher, and the lesson. While I understand that we have Google Meets and email to ask questions, it's just not the same. It's a hassle to send an email, and I can normally just ask a question and get my answer in maybe 2 seconds. Another point I would like to make is that this technology is unfamiliar to many and not as reliable as simply turning the page into a bin. Just earlier today, before I wrote this, I received an email saying one of my assignments didn't turn in. Well, I didn't get a 0, and I was given a chance to redo my assignment. It was a serious hassle to do over again. This assignment consisted of 5 essay prompts to do, and it took me well over an hour to complete. When I received the email that it didn't turn in, you can probably understand my frustration. I started crying in the car with my mom because it was so frustrating to spend over an hour on an assignment just to have it again. Next, I would like to bring up the fact that some students go to school to escape their home life, as I brought up earlier. While I'm fortunate enough to be in a safe home environment, not all students have that luxury. I know that some students use this district as an escape, and I think it's pretty sad that we can't provide that for them. Next, I would like to talk about the in-person meetings. While I'm thankful for these, they have no benefit for me. I would love to come into school and learn in person with my teacher and ask questions as I please. But I do not have a license, my parents are at work, and so are many other students' parents. Another thing I would like to bring up is the fact that in-school work, I would say, is pretty challenging to learn in person. Last year, I took all the other classes I could take and studied a lot. The course load was very challenging for me in school. This year, I'm taking 5 college and high school classes. These classes are very difficult, and I do not think they should be learned over a computer. If my parents are paying $360 for a credit, I think I should at least be in the classroom. Lastly, I understand the concern for the health of all students. However, I do not understand how a big school like Armstrong started yesterday, but a small school like ours can't. I understand that some people are concerned for their health, but what I don't understand is why they can't stay home and learn a lesson over video or Google Meet, while the students who want to be here and learn can come in. Lastly, if we follow all the proper guidelines as recommended, I think we would have a well-functioning school environment that is close to normal. It's clear to me as a student that going back has more benefits than a continuation of online learning. I ask you all to please take what I said into consideration as you vote for the fate of higher education in the upcoming weeks. Take care, Kylie Pafford. I think she reflects the remarks of a lot of students and a lot of parents to get back into full-time education at the school. As Ms. Nix referred though, and the last person we commented, Jill Pugh, we will take those into consideration of what's going on from the CDC and from the governmental requirements that we have in the state. And that will come to a vote on September 23rd, based on a lot of the positivity rates and so forth that we are experiencing in our small town. And that is, I think, for public comment. Yeah.
I know I didn't draw it, so, but may I ask a question?
Yeah. Well,
So
Or we have to make you walk the whole way around.
That's my choice. I'm getting too old to go straight. I am from Miami. I got to school in Science Street, West Beachfront. And my question is, in regards to the attendance of the football games, which I understand, are you allowed to stand outside the stadium, and watch the game? We ask to, for example, the main entrance, the only way there, there's a pretty long fence for you to do the game from there. I'm surmising that's not considered part of the stadium. Is that acceptable?
I can answer that if it's okay. I have to talk to Jason Schaefer about this situation because we're in a different situation at the school district. We actually don't own the stadium. However, we lease the football field, the whole complex inside, and the practice field. So because of that, that would be considered unrestricted. However, the outside perimeter, that is all public property and belongs to the borough. So Officer Schaefer did say today, unless it was causing a roadway to be blocked, they would not have to do it.
So my wife and I chose to get a couple seats up and sit there and watch the game. Acceptable.
And get there early, so they go out to where we do that.
Pardon?
Yes, that's acceptable.
Um,
Don't block the roadway. But other than that, no.
If you went further on up that alley, you made a left. I know this is well, but, there's like a little parking lot there, a small wooden set of bleachers. That are on or off limits. That's the one that you park there over.
So the bleachers will be outside of what we're gonna rope off. So if you can picture where the practice field is, there's a retaining wall that comes about a quarter of the way around the practice field. Our intention is to rope that off straight across the fence on the other side. So there's a big tree there and the bleachers would be on the outside of it. So we would need that outside of our bank. Yes. Similar to, as Ms. Nick said, yeah.
The basketball court is also an acceptable location to watch the game. No, but when I say that, I want you to know that that's what Officer Schaefer said, he wasn't gonna ask people to move, but we don't control that. We're not going to ask you to move from those areas. Put it back, I can confirm that with you.
Like I said, we'll have our area booked off where people are not allowed into, then we combine to that 250 limit. Outside of that is borough property.
I'll probably have to come up here and do it in the city.
Better go tonight, take your sleeping bag, Frank.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Agenda items? Okay, administrative reports, principals reports.
I'll start off with the elementary. First off, I just want to commend the K-12 staff through the whole training over the last 4 or 5 weeks on that. They've done an amazing job of taking on a new challenge that none of them were trained to do more than 6 months ago, and they've taken it on and hit it with strides. Also want to thank Ms. Knoll for all the work she's done with a lot of the different pieces that have been going on. And without all of them doing the work they did and what she's done, we wouldn't be where we're at today. We did have a great start for most of the things. We've had a few small issues that we've done a nice job of finding, determining what they are, and overcoming them. Last week, we had kindergarten here for 3 half-day sessions. We had a morning session and an afternoon session. And this week, yesterday and today, we had first and second grade in. We have 8 kids in the classroom. We're taking temperatures as they come in. We're social distancing, taking down the classroom. And they did their star reader, star math assessment. The star reader was yesterday and today, so they came in for 1 of the 4 sessions. They're coming in tomorrow and Friday for another one of those 1 of 4 sessions on that. While they were here, all of kindergarten got their new Chromebooks, the new touchscreen for K-2. We have about 80%, maybe 90% of first and second grade got theirs. The rest of them who haven't got are in their classrooms. They'll be able to get them tomorrow and Friday as they go through. A couple changes we've made over there is we changed the elementary announcements and attendance form. We've taken that over in the office to take it off the teacher's hands. It made it a lot easier to read the attendance, see who was active, who wasn't active with that, and made it a lot easier, I think, for the teachers and for both us at the office and the special areas. There were a few changes where they were a part of the classroom with the kids. I was hearing from the parents that it was a little bit overwhelming with what they were seeing, so we adapted that as we went through. And I think that we'll continue to do that as we go through that. Anything we're hearing, I heard today that something I found out that will go in tomorrow's announcements, that if a parent is on a Chromebook and they're trying to go to the attendance, and if they can't see it and it won't move, they need to shrink the screen for it. If it was jumping up to 110%, you couldn't see the next button. So those are all things we're going to look at and make sure we're sharing with the parents so that it makes it as easy as possible. And we're posting them at 6 p.m., trying to be flexible with parents. If they want to work the night before that, they can do that and then go live the next day. Outside of that, just a quick update. I know we're talking about the speaker here and stuff. I did talk with Dwight today. They're waiting on one more speaker to come in. It was obviously coming in from out of the country on that, and there were some delays over the last month. Everything else is there. They're waiting on one more. Once he's here, he's going to schedule to get in here and get our entire auditorium sound system updated on that. Any questions for the elementary?
I have a question. I just want to thank the elementary staff and you for everything that has happened so far this year. It has been phenomenal, and I know that from experience with my grandkids that attend here. They both have had great starts. Their teachers, it's just wonderful for all the things that we have to go through. You know, I wanted to end just as much as everybody else, but it has gone very well, and I just want to make sure the staff knows that it's very appreciated.
I will share that as well as I shared another one that I got a comment from another board member of some good positive vibes that came out of the community. And like I said, I can't speak enough for the staff of the hours they put in, and it really, I mean, every morning I laugh because they come in and like, oh, we're back. Like, come on in, let's figure this out. But it's a constant updating of what we're doing, how we're doing it, how do we make it better, and we've continuously challenged that process. And I talked to, you know, most of them on that today. You know, it really pays to show off why we all became educators, and it's coming out right here. When we give a challenge, they've stepped up big time in this challenge that they're in.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd just like to echo what Candy and Dave said about the elementary. They're doing a tremendous job working through a lot of these different things that come up. I just want to also stress the communication staff's doing with the families is top notch. We have a Google Doc going around of kids who are not logging on at certain times, kids who are not turning in assignments. They are reaching out via email and phone calls. Dr. Linkus and I are reaching out, phone calls, emails, you know, to the point where I think some parents are getting tired of hearing from us. But the last thing we want to do is have kids fall behind with this virtual learning. So the staff's doing a great job. I've popped into a lot of the different Google Meets. I am a student or co-teacher in every single classroom, so I have the option to pop in. Every time I go in, there are kids there, and they are working on different concepts. So, you know, we are definitely just as excited and happy with the secondary staff, and they're doing a tremendous job as well. I want to thank Mark George. Probably when he decided to be a technology director, he had no idea that this would be something that he would have to tackle, but every issue that's come up has been fixed quickly, and we really appreciate that and thank him for doing that. It has went a lot smoother than I think a lot of us figured it would. Now to shift gears a little bit to kind of the discussion of the night, fans at athletic events.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
I did not mean that the second year, I was waiting till you were done
Oh.
to give my kudos to that. I need to change that. Oh my goodness. I don't know from experience how well they're doing, but I have no doubt. And I'll tell you what, I think they have a whole different set of challenges with the different periods. I mean, my goodness, I couldn't do it. Let's just put it that way. And I wanted to mention Mr. George as well. I just thought you'd say there were any questions. And then I was going to say my thing about the high school.
I just want to throw you under the bus, Candy.
You said that, I felt terrible. No, please, I am equally as happy with that.
The point that Candy makes is well taken. Dave said a lot of the elementary kids, they have their assignments at 6 o'clock at night. We have a number of high school teachers who do have 5 or 6 different preps in which they teach. They're not done by that point at night. They are working throughout the evening. So I know teachers, I mean, I was a teacher, my wife's a teacher, obviously friends and coworkers a lot here. The day doesn't end at 2:30 or 3 o'clock for them, even more so now. So they're really working into the evening and kind of pushing on, but doing great stuff. Okay, so on to the athletic events, current guidance, which, may or may not have changed at about 4:30 this afternoon. 25 people are allowed to be inside a gymnasium for an event. 250 people are allowed to be outside at an event. Again, my next point is it may change based on state legislation. It would be a school decision while still honoring social distancing. From my understanding, there was a House bill that was put through. The House approved it a few days ago. The Senate approved it this afternoon. It is not a law yet. The governor has to sign it. He can sit on it for 10 days and let it become law. He can veto it, send it back to legislation. If they pass it by a certain percentage, it becomes a law, or he can sign it himself. I don't want to speculate as to what the governor is going to do with that. 25 indoor events, which is volleyball and junior high basketball for us. That leaves us with 0 fans. I know in working with Coach Hebrank, Andre and I have had conversations with her. It's very difficult to run an event in a game with 25 people, but there has been guidance from the Whitfields to how we're going to do that. With soccer and junior high football, there's a little flexibility, so we can allow a decent amount of fans for each one of those. Varsity football is where the issue lies. It involves more than just football players. Anybody who's been associated with it knows that a Friday night game is not just a game, it's an event. Football players, band, and cheer make up that event. Based on numbers, our recommendation is to give each home participant 1 ticket. And when I mean participant, I mean football player, band member, and cheerleader. The numbers were laid out for you in a document that was sent over. Our plan is to live stream all home events and hoping other schools reciprocate that. I know that the Blairsville scrimmage for the boys was live streamed. I was able to watch some of that. We cannot force other schools to do that, but the hope is that schools will reciprocate and live stream those events. Andre, can you talk real quick about the plan for live streaming? I know they were working on that today.
Yeah, we were working today. We're going to do a live stream. We will have a YouTube channel that everybody can go to, so it won't be a different link every week. It'll be one channel, and then it'll be broadcast live on there. We are working on what that channel is going to be, so we should have that by tomorrow. So once I know that, I will let everybody know what that YouTube channel is and how to leave their direction. But everything is smoothly up there at the football field today. The scoreboard is working. I do have to go back up tomorrow and check on the lights, but everything else is working up there. So.
Yeah, the plan is tomorrow to communicate that, as Andre said. Andre's done a great job with social media, a number of different platforms in which he passes out information. I will then send out an email also to the parents as well. So hopefully, via those couple methods, we can get the live stream channel out to anybody who wants to watch the football game. And then the last thing is we were talking with Frank there a little bit about what we consider the facility. Obviously, inside the fence where the cement area is, the football field, and then the practice field. I think some people were thinking that they could just rush in and stand along the side in the practice field. That is part of our responsibility as the practice field. So our hope was we were going to take a rope and put it from where I mentioned before, where the retaining wall is, and you can picture that up there, straight across to the fence, which will then eliminate the practice field from people standing on. If you go to the fence on the practice field side, if you follow me, it's fairly close to where the other team would be. We don't want fans standing right there as well. So that's the plan for that. We've worked closely with maintenance in terms of measuring out the bleachers, There will be X's in the seats where people are permitted to sit, still maintaining the social distancing. And that's the plan with that. Andre is going to talk quickly about game day procedures, and the ticket, things like that. Andre, if you want to.
So for our game day protocol, basically, based on the decision you guys make as far as how many tickets you get, the players, the cheerleaders, and the band will get on Thursdays, day before every home. All of my game day workers, the officials, the opposing coach, they will sign a waiver, and all my game day workers, I will be taking temperatures and everything like that, and making sure that everybody is good as far as the question, that they will be screened and stuff like that. As you come into towards the gate, there will be cones for social distancing, and then you'll have to just get your ticket in and then come on in. So we're asking everybody, as you come in, to have your mask on. Once you sit down, as long as you're within or further than 6 feet away, you are allowed to take your mask off. But we're asking that if you ever are talking with anybody or you come in that 6 feet zone of somebody, you can have your mask on whenever you communicate with them. At the front gate, there will be the ticket taker and a security guard will be there with them. And then, we have 2 security by that road that Doug had mentioned earlier that we will make sure that nobody comes onto that practice field. In the press box will be, so everywhere we're basically going to be doing social distancing. In the press box, we will have 3 people in there. I mentioned that today. There's only enough room for 3 people in there. We will be live streaming from up on top of the press box. And then on the corner box is where we'll have the visiting team over there. There will be signs placed around the facility to maintain social distancing. And most importantly, there will be a lot of hand sanitizer by visiting locker room on our side. We will definitely be hand sanitizing and making sure that we do that before, during, and after.
Thank you. Do you have any questions about the plan?
This is an assumption from what you said, but I just think it needs to be said out loud to the question that comes. So I assume that means that no parents from away teams will bring their children away.
Correct. The cheerleaders will not be traveling, and we will not be giving any tickets to away teams.
Okay. It is the live stream free.
Yes.
Do you have to take temperatures of the away players every day? Is there someone that's going
I
to?
think they're going to provide a health certificate.
So what happened is, for prior to the game, I sent over the sign off. I think that was an opportunity to do it and update it. So I send that off to them, and then whenever the opposing team, whether it be the backup, AD or a coach, they have to sign that stating that they did in fact screen their people before they even got on the bus. And anybody wasn't there.
Okay, and then, so you have listed on your sheet like a, 50 tickets for away players and coaches, and then I think they get an extra one after they're in that first round, that's not included in that. I mean, are there teams that have less than 50? So is there, I guess there's an opportunity for some games,
So I
for
think that
somebody's mom to be able to kind of play.
the ADs discussed 50 being kind of the number that everybody was going to work with for other teams. Now, out of 4 home games, I think you've been contacted twice, and they want more than 50 for that. We just can't get to like maybe 63 or something, whatever that magic number is, get us above 250. So I know that our roster is a little bit small, but other ones have a little bit more. So we wanted to stick with that 50, and then whatever that difference is, 8 or 9 gives us a little bit of wiggle room for whatever the other team was.
Our roster is not one of the smallest one. Everybody else is not closer to 50.
And then my next question, so I'm sure it's not gonna go over well, and I hope I do have some situations for that. So I'll just say that while my son does play football. But so, as far as, like, football game last year, when the band was there, they had their coaches, but there were also like tons of parents that fell off, because they sat with them, they gave it up, I mean, like, they ate, they had, you know, all that happened, you know, they did pizza, you know, do all that, for the give that for that, you know, something.
So I-
That's many people last year.
I think that, they're gonna bring water and a snack for themselves this time. Band has chaperones associated with them based on some student needs and things like that we can't really discuss too much. But yes, it would be similar to a football team would have assistant coaches of the band. That sounds about right, Jay? Yeah.
And then I guess. Okay.
No, please ask. We spent hours, believe me, trying to figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been hours, there's no way around it.
No,
I
and
mean, from what I gathered from.
me, Tiffany, and Andre sat in my office, and my whiteboard looks like a mess, but we erase this and move this and erase this. It's very unfortunate in this situation.
Was there ever any thought to, I tried to talk to other schools to see if I could get ideas of things about this. So there were some schools that were saying that they were having, you know, like the band more present, like the pregame, their performance in front of their parents in the beginning, and then their parents were kind of leaving, and then they were then allowed to, there were more people there for the football.
So that kind of falls under what I mentioned earlier with this being an event. The whole thing is, you know, the band playing during timeouts, the band playing.
Oh, right,
You
I
know what I mean?
thought after the band, that wasn't what they were doing.
But the parents would want to listen to the kids playing. Yes,
This is kind of, I would ask on that right now from parents, if our band still wants.
yes, yes, yes.
Any other questions? I know that the athletics is after a budget and finance, but we seem to be discussing it now anyway. So we've covered the sports and the spectators. The athletic safety plan? Is that a question?
Yeah, that we have spectators.
Okay. Any other questions for Andre or Doug on the attendance? Anything else in your reports?
I don't think that's it. Thank you.
Brad, under personnel?
You guys hear me if I speak from back here, or do I rather?
You have to yell.
Can you hear me? How's this? Good? Not yet. Back up.
Crawl over on that.
I like that one. Alright. None of their personnel, for this month, we have supplemental positions for consideration to hire. We have substitute custodian positions for 2020-21 school year. To piggyback supplemental positions, we also have following game day worker positions and the per game salary allotment for those positions. We have an update on a civilian maintenance posting and recommendation hire this month. We've also volleyball assistant, volunteer assistant varsity football coach update, and a consultant group which is interested. All those things we're going to do earlier student executive session for consideration this month for some action tonight and some action later this month. Any questions there? Everybody is fine. The software is like a software sharing totally service agreement, something we need to have in place. It should be arrived. And then 2021 on some school district, special education services. I like the area of education at the school, something we do yearly. And lastly, the 2020 World Fair Act Twitter reporting agreement is something we do on an annual basis. Seniors help us with our World Fair Act reporting. Questions there? That one does put the topic called right back front, and then that will break later on after the reporting.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you right.
Softwood was used in the past.
Yeah, software is used from past.
Right.
Any questions there? Like I said, there are some personnel actions on tonight's agenda, so when those come, if there are any questions, you'll have to go through at that time. Yeah, absolutely. So we use procedures, and they're kind of our third party for a lot of our back end office support. So it's kind of our procedures and our airline support.
Thank you. Under athletics, sports and spectators and the athletic safety plan. Under legislative issues,
Yeah, I'll talk about the policies and everyone here needs hard. Take it, you're there. So this is, in my tenure here, the most policies we've ever had to approve at one point. And as you know, we are part of PSPA and they send us what's called PNN. And they tell us what their recommendations are based on our school policy and what their new recommendations are. So policy 103 and 104, this is the non-discrimination, discriminatory harassment, school classroom practices, and also employment practices. So this is a very long, these are two very long policies. They're what I call long because they take away our policy and put a whole new policy in. So the teachers, all of our staff is trained on weekly changes. And also, this requires me and the manager to get training as well. And what that is going to be is how, if someone says there's a harassment claim, particularly sexual harassment, what to do, when to do it, how to investigate it, how to deal with employees, when to get the legal team involved. There's forms. I think one of these policies is 29 pages long. There's forms attached to all of them. And that also goes into the hazing, bullying, cyberbullying, dating violence, educator misconduct, and maintaining professional adult-student boundaries. Those are changes because now if there's harassment attached to that, then we need to solve the forms to get the harassment procedures in place for that as well for all plans. So that is brand new. So that's basically the added piece to all of the one. And the telework policy, 309.1, we do not have a telework policy for school, and we typically do not work from home, and because of COVID, all that policy is expectations of what our employers or what our employees will be expected. So that just covers that should be in that situation. So the policies are very in-depth. Patty does a great job of putting them in. And they're all highlighted in yellow, all the pieces. So you'll be able to see, they were on your packet, and some of them, like I said, are easy. We have a policy in place, but now we're going to based on what PSP told us. Yeah. So did anybody have any questions? Yeah, so the employees already had, we all had our training. I told us, and it's very expensive, what I had. Patty and I are working today on looking for great training, and that's $600. And it's not budget, so they're telling us we have to be trained, it's very expensive. So I have not been trained yet, so I'm trying to find people on, for less expensive. So that's what they're doing. So if you have any questions on them, just please let me know and I'll have you prior to the next year.
So when the staff does their training, you couldn't go to that training because you're a superintendent.
Yeah, it's because they will be investigating, I will, our school investigator, because they're the compliance officer. So they basically need to be apprised of the changes that were being made in the seriousness of after they're looking on this. So that theirs is, I think, is like a 27-minute on video and the changes. This is more in depth, like exactly what. Yeah. That's everybody.
Is there a time frame you have to name the time?
Yeah, so that is in there, and here in this bed, between the resource we need and it'll be, I'll be in there. And it's always good because we are so small that if say something happens or if that person sick, then I would take over. So it's good to have, remember, this is very serious, so it's good to have two people.
Superintendent, board secretary update.
Yeah, so again, we've been thanking everybody, but from the superintendent perspective and to validate that these parents are saying what the students are saying, this is hard stuff that we're doing, and there have been issues every single day. But overall, I have to say, Mr. Zurich has been a superstar. I mean, I'm not talking people liking the education piece, but the technology piece. Technology is not for everybody. It is difficult, and to see how far these teachers have come in such a small period of time to give them the education that they're receiving is truly remarkable. I've done a nervous wreck for a month over this. I mean, more knowing no matter what, they have to be trained on it. And to say that I think everyone has gone above and beyond would be a total understatement. And this is our staff, our parents, our students. It has just truly been a miracle, for lack of better words. And that's not to negate, yes, we're offering free lunches and not everybody can get here. That's absolutely true. Today, I delivered some lunches and I am happy to do that through everyone's stuff. So we're only a phone call away. Jack has been clear on that, our food service director. So we'll never let anybody go hungry. So if there's any problem out there, please tell us at the school. We will do everything that we can to make that happen. And as far as the technology, the new Chromebooks are going out through our K-2. And it's not ideal. It is absolutely positively not ideal. But I think given the situation that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, from my perspective, I think it's gone exceptionally well. So my hat is off to every single person, and I thank you for that. As far as our next step, and this is cute, I touched on this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, most schools started back full time yesterday, so I am gonna be continuing to talk to their superintendents and their staff to see what they're going through there, to see if they have any outbreak. An outbreak is not gonna happen in a day or two, because I want to learn from what other schools are doing. I'm watching the data. For example, we are having outbreaks in Arkansas County, and I'm not quite sure why. I know it's been a nursing home issue, but I want that in writing to be able to say to you, like, this is why our numbers are high. Even today, well, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were number 2 in the state on the watch list. Then we were down to number 7. Then we were up to number 3. And just watching the news before I came here, Arkansas County is up in numbers. But like people say, it's not with students. So as of right now, we are still a moderate. My recommendation is really based on the data. And I'm sorry that our board meeting is on the 23rd. I'm expecting you to make a decision on the 23rd for October 5th. But I will give you the most up-to-date recommendation, pieces of information. And it's not just my recommendation. Like Dave and Doug and I sat down and had a long talk about this. So knowing the teachers, and remember, our teachers are going to still be cyber educating, even when the students come back. So that's a factor in that as well. So this is not an easy decision to make. And my heart breaks for families and homes that have to, families who have to work, or, mom said she had to quit her job, and that is not what I want, and I'm sure that's not what anybody else wants. So on the 23rd, well, prior to the 23rd, I will give you every piece of information I can possibly come up with. I'm meeting with the teachers, to get their opinion on how it's going, what we can do from me. So on the 23rd, we will have this hard conversation and decisions to be made. So as of right now, I can only tell you what I'm understanding. So things could change in the COVID world, things change in a hot minute. Just like today, the governor, who knows, the school's work plan could change by tomorrow morning if he signs his bill. So I can't predict, I don't know. So I appreciate everyone's patience. I know patience has been for a lot of people, and I can totally understand that. So I thank everybody for working so hard to work together, whether we want to or not. So thank you.
Really appreciate that you've achieving and going through all of this. In addition to all of our teachers and administration, I really think you've done all that exceptional, very good.
Thank you. I it comes back to my opinion, I know that. So, I think everybody's being patient, making decisions sometimes on the fly, based on what we know what happens. So,
Under gifts, grants, and donations,
yeah, sadly, I will take over this one. So our public library, after what, like 100 years, is no longer going to be part of our school district. And I said, I'm very happy with the library because I know that's what they wanted. And I'm sad to end that partnership in the building, but the partnership will never end. And the library board assures me that we're going to continue to build wonderful programs for our students. So I'm really excited about that. But they have been using our library for a long time, as I just said, so they have asked us to donate a set of bookshelves to them that's been in the library for a number of years. I did talk to our librarian at the school, who said it will not cause a hardship to our district. We will be placing books on the bookshelves that we have that are not on the shelves now. But she said she sees no reason why we can't not give that to the library, so as a party gift, I would like to ask the school board to donate that to the public.
under board-related issues, the busing schedule updates.
So, of course, as with every single board meeting, we have the busing schedule updates, bus drivers and bus driver substitute listing updates, which we will continue to have. And then, I know those, Mr. Gordon's working to get all those off parents who can come home here sooner rather than later, they're gonna need that. And then, of course, the officer elections, we will be more.
Annually, the PSBA has an election for the PSBA Board of Representatives. And I have provided each of you with all of the candidates that they have expressed interest in those positions. You will need to take a formal vote on the 23rd as to whether or not you agree with the candidates and if there's any competitive positions. We would need to vote on that as well. But you have provided with all that information. I've provided their biography so that you can get to know them a little better. If you have any other further questions, I'll be more than happy to contact you for you and have those questions.
Can I go backwards for a minute and ask about that library book case? Is that something we could vote on?
Yeah, it's a donation. You're as a school donating to
Okay, so but we're not voting on it for 2 weeks. If they're moving all their books down, Karen, am I correct? They're moving the books down. Do you need those cases sooner?
So you could ratify it.
Yeah.
If there's some
So,
opposition, yeah, you guys are opposed to it, it probably is good time to speak. It was, but otherwise you can ratify it. It's really just a formality in the school code. It's a property that they're using or necessary.
I just don't want them to have to wait until after we vote and then, need the cases sooner.
If I were to do our own thing with the meetings and shelves this week, and then ratify it.
And I didn't think, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just saw the date just the other day, or just today, I think. So it just got posted.
Sorry.
Any comments on any of the shelves? There are some of them. Under old business, under personnel, a motion is needed to remove from the table and accept the resignation of Mr. Bradley Walker from the position of Business Manager, Human Resources Director, effective September 30th, 2020. Do I have a motion? Second. Comments?
Thank you, Brad.
We appreciate your service and appreciate you helping us and carry over in the transition to a new business manager also. Thank you. All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Under 2, we need to remove that. Or part of the Under new business personnel, motion is needed to rescind the hiring of Mr. Christopher Kubik to the position of custodial maintenance worker effective August 26, 2020, at step 1 of the Service Employees International Union, SEIU, collective bargaining unit. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. And we need a formal meeting for this.
So there's no link with one, right? Not, I don't think there's any motion, right?
Okay. So there's no motion on the, okay, under B, finance, a motion is needed to approve the 2020 Affordable Care Act employee reporting as presented in Exhibit B1. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Under C, athletics, a motion is needed to amend the 2020-2021 athletic safety plan as presented in Exhibit C1. Do I have a motion? Comments? Thank you for all the work put into that. With something different this year. All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Ms. Tarr, do we have public comments on our agenda items?
Before we get there, what we're doing tonight. So, I guess, it wasn't clear to me, because the board wants to add to the agenda tonight, a motion to relevant activity. If not, then we obviously vote on that in 2 weeks.
I have a question before we have to back about that. So, I know that you said in your superintendent report that you have a professional, have seen everything before, but we have this, parent come talk about that there is, is there any way to set up someplace in, they have to pre-order that, right? That's correct. So is there any way to set up someplace in Westminster sometime where the meals are put on the van that we have, and someone drives it, that they can get it there, opposed to having to go out here, somewhere out? Okay, so then my question would be, I didn't want to just tell the woman said, the dad come on and ask her, the dad fire, I mean, potentially, are they able to drive it in?
Are we able to drop the deal? Is that what I'm asking? They have to get their license, just so I can, do you hear that?
Yeah, so the protocol on that is any Premier English employee can drive our van if they have a valid driver's license, and we get that on file with our insurance agent. So that's the only protocol there. Within a day. Yeah, within a day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to plan based on what
So could we give them, we put that information out, see if there is a need for that, and give it a week. And in that week, we have to make more lunches, and we have to have someone take them there and deliver them and wait for someone to take them out and we need to do that, then that would be fine. If there's no need for it, no one wants it, then we can revisit it.
Can we give the administration the ability to do the furlough based on the new plan?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean,
You know, I think this way here, because it won't be 6, maybe 4, maybe 3, depending on what the new plan is.
I think that's a wonderful.
Is that? And so what we will do is we will make a motion to let the administration decide on the number. You guys will take up.
You might have to give it. I mean, I agree, but in general, whenever you send things out to parents, you send it out today or tonight, it doesn't mean you're gonna take it for this week. You might have to give it. And a lot of it's word of mouth. They can get to it.
Well, they're telling me, we're gonna put out there and see how much business is generating next week. So by Friday, obviously, we give out the most like we do. So this will be, we'll send an email out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the wheels on wheels, I love that. Will be contacted on Monday. So we'll see how much business is in.
So then, just throw this out there.
Very good idea.
And any student, and it doesn't have to be a student, it's anybody under the age of 18, so one year, is eligible, a toddler, three, whatever.
So just let me know if this captures it. Motion to approve the furlough of 6 cafeteria workers pursuant to the terms of the collective bargaining agreement effective September 14, 2020, subject to the number of being reduced after administration determines whether some or all of the staff can use to deliver meals and authorize the administration to take all actions necessary to carry this functionality.
Yeah, and I'm not doing anything, but I'll give you numbers first. Like, we generally only serve 35 to 40 meals, but next week, hey, we're good, we give you 400, which would be just fantastic. So,
How do you
I
verify
would-
the wages if everybody comes?
yeah.
How do you do that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you verify the age of somebody in a house?
We go by 5 words, we never ask them for verification. Yeah, but we go there. I don't know, but that's for verification. So there's the order. That's part of the issue, is the employees. So we need to go in general numbers, so therefore, say you had 50, you don't pay for 40, that's an issue. So say we put for 80, you only had 30, then it's wasteful, and that's why we're doing the free work as well. But I think that's wonderful. I will report that to you, sorry. Yeah, so, and they're gonna take action on those.
That's the next question. Because when you did that first version, was I read it? And you can ask questions.
What was your other question?
I was using on the.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, did you get the motion?
I thought some of it I would appreciate it if you had it written down if I make sure.
Absolutely. Okay, you want me to read it again? Yes. Okay. So it's a motion to approve the furlough of 6 cafeteria workers pursuant to the terms of the collective bargaining agreement effective September 14, 2020. Subject to the number being reduced after administration determines whether some or all of the staff can be used to deliver meals and authorizing the administration to take all actions necessary to carry this function out.
Can we do no more than 6? Because what if it's only 2 or 3? Like the first line there, there's nothing out there.
Motion to approve the furlough of up to
You're saying
6.
it's needed.
Yeah, because they can be around $6, it's just 2 of them.
Well,
They can capture that in your motion.
It's all effective, oh, 14.
All right.
Yeah, right.
So here's the amendment. I'll make a motion to approve the furlough of up to 6.
Sorry for being here.
Not at all. So, Patty, you want me to read that again, or you want me to just give you what I wrote?
Fine, if everyone else is fine with motion number 3.
Do I have a motion to approve? Comment? Thank you for the idea. A great idea to help get everybody else to do this. Keep working also. Thank you. All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah, I made it first, so I'm sorry.
There you go.
Thank you. That's very difficult this year. Another question. So the parent also discussed, the fact that there are some kids that need extra help. We are offering it if they can't get it.
So, and I know there's a lot of logistics to figure out if you could go get someone or make like someone of a bus run in the van, who will be the van. Is there any way we could at least look into it and attempt, and if there are students that are needing help and cannot get to this building? And we have the money for it.
We already started that on that for any kid who needs it, if it comes to our attention. And we're looking, some of our students who are starting in early, and then the other one will be, looking at needs. We didn't open up and just go right by who you get, sure if it's really the teachers talking to parents, and if there is that true need for support on that, we would definitely make sure we get them help.
We maybe reach out to parents, teacher, now.
Yes.
Any other public comments on non-agenda items? Or any other items? Okay, then do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting tonight at 8:50 p.m.? Second? Any comments? All those in favor? Against? Motion passes. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your attendance.